Hi, welcome back to Finally Revealed in episode number 44 of Be the Change. In this week's episode, I want to talk about how change is an inside job. We've talked about doing things differently, rearranging our life, redoing things, deciding what we want and go towards it, and hopefully mostly being drawn to things that we want, but also looking at something that we don't like, or patterns or location or jobs or whatever it is, relationships that we don't want, and making a change, whether it's a change to improve that situation or to get out of it. So we've gone through lots of mechanical ways and some other tips and tricks to help tweak things on our way. But one thing that I don't want to overlook is that real change is an inside job. It happens inside each individual person, their personality, their heart, their soul, and how they are showing up for themselves first. And some people might say, well, that's selfish, and I've heard that before. But just like in an airplane, putting oxygen on yourself first to be able to help somebody else, it's really important that we take responsibility for ourselves, that we're conscious about what we're doing and how we're showing up. And sometimes these things come about in a gradual way as our interests change, or as we come into contact with new people, or we make one little change in our life and it leads to another one. Other times it can come on very suddenly. A loss of a job, a lockdown, a loss of a parent, something that just shakes you and forces you to pause. And all of these kind of come to you in a kind of a wait a minute situation. As we're growing up, where we're raised, the situations that we see every day, we take on as normal. And as kids, you might go to a friend's house and go to dinner, and you see that their family does things a little bit differently than yours. Definitely when you leave the nest and when you go out on your own for the first time and you realize, hey, I've always done things this way, but I have the right to choose. Each one of us is a sovereign being. We are a sovereign soul. We have the ability to make our own decisions and do things the way we want to do them. So, hopefully the caregivers are doing things to keep us safe and teach us the different skills that we need. But at some point, as we're going along, some way or another, we come face to face with ourselves and see ourselves in a different way. Not so much on the treadmill and going to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, but seeing who we are and how we are, and examining what we like and what we don't like, and getting a little bit of perspective. The first domino could be, when something big and bad happens. It could also be when something big and glorious happens, and we realize, we've just finished a course of study, or we landed a great job, and we say, wow, I really can stand here on the top of a hill and look out and choose. And we have the choice to be how we are, to make our decisions, to decide what we like and what we don't like. So I want us this week to take a look in the mirror at who we are, if you haven't done it in a while, and look at it in a little bit different way. See yourself, what you like, what you don't like. Explore both areas. Why are there things about you that you've done, or that you have how you've shown up, that you don't like? Or habits. Have you carried on family habits that really don't serve you, that really don't relate to your experience, aren't helpful to you, they don't make you feel good, and they don't help you grow? Why do you have those? Why do you still have those? And can you work through that? Can you take on those different emotions? Can you go back to the root and really look at it? And as you're doing that, understand how they came to be incorporated into who you are, or how you came to present that as part of yourself. And has that been changing through this past year for whatever reason? And do you understand how you have been changing in that way? By understanding how we show up, where that came from, it may take some journaling or some quiet contemplation to really think about it and trace it back. A lot of things can be traced back to our family when we were small children. They say that childhood trauma occurs from age 2 to 13, and a lot of things that children are exposed to or things that happen, they don't understand at their young age, and so they develop coping mechanisms that then build into other things. So if we can go back and understand things about ourselves, we can then accept those things, accept how it happened, accept how we got to be the way we were or in the situation or with that person, and get some peace around it. And by doing that, we can integrate those feelings and integrate those experiences into who we are today. If we're not acting out on those anymore, if we have already changed those, do you even realize some of the things that have changed about you this year? But if you can understand it and accept it, no judgment, you can observe it, but no judgment, take it on board, and then if any of those tendencies should show up in the future, which they do pop up from time to time, with your new understanding, you can look at it and say, that's how I was. I'm not like that anymore. And just keep going on. I think it's through acceptance of ourselves and how we have internally changed is really one of the biggest gifts that we can give to ourselves. And that is going to come out through us in everything that we do and every interaction, and really show an internal change. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, gave you something to think about, or you learned something, give me a thumbs up. Leave any comments or questions below. Subscribe to see the other videos. Check out the rest of this playlist on Be the Change, and come back and see me next time. Thanks for watching.